Now, if you're a lazy motherfucker, guess what? You better have a shitload of leverage.
So if you're new to this channel, my name is Nick. I make content all about Web3 games and more specifically Illuvium. And my big interest is actually the whole economy of the Web3 games and treating it like a business. I know a lot of people don't like that. They just want to play a game. But if I'm being honest with you, I want to make a little money while I'm having fun playing that game. So if you feel the same way, make sure you subscribe to this channel. In this video, I'm going to get into how to use leverage to make more money in Illuvium. But first, let's finish this clip from Alex from Ozzy.
No, you can be lazy and still make tons of money. You just have to have lots of leverage. You gotta be really strategic in the moves you make. The more activity you have, the more you can let a little bit of that violence work for you, but it ends up becoming a cap soon enough. Because at the end of the day, we only have X amount of hours, and if you wanna do big shit, you need a lot of other people's hours to work for you, which is a form of leverage.
So there's 4 types of leverage when you're thinking about things from a business standpoint. Depending on where you look, they call it something different. I actually came up with this quick little acronym myself, CHIT, or C-H-I-T, and it stands for capital, human, information, and technology. So capital leverage is obviously how much money you have. The more money you have to put into a business, the more leverage you have. So for human, that basically means manpower. Now, there's only a certain amount of time in the day, obviously. You have to eat, you have to sleep, and there's only so much time that you can dedicate to this business. So the human power of leverage is getting other people to use their time to help build your business. Now, you see this everywhere. You know, McDonald's hires employees to work, and it's the people at the top that make the most money out of that. So they're leveraging other people's time. The next one is informational, and that's basically how well educated you are at doing what it is you're doing. So, for example, in Illuvium here, you know, how skilled are you at the game? How well do you know the economy? How well do you just know Illuvium? And the last one is technology. So in terms of Illuvium or just Web3 gaming, you know, that might be having a bot that runs in the background that can do certain activities for you to make money. Now that's going to be against the rules of Illuvium and pretty much any Web3 game. So I wanted to put that in there because it is a form of leverage in business, but it's not going to be one that we're touching here in Illuvium. So I'm going to go through a scenario here. So basically what I have here is $100 for capital. So I'm saying that you have $100 per day of leverage. Now, if it's just you, the human leverage is just a multiplier of 1. I'm going to say you're pretty well informed with Illuvium, but there's probably some stuff that you're missing. So we'll go with about 90%. And technology, we're just not even going to include that here. So a couple other assumptions we have here. We're going to say that the cost of a gameplay loop in Illuvium, which would be your travel cost and your cost of shards to catch alluvials, is $5. And let me bring this down to a manpower of 1. Let's say one game loop averages about half an hour. And let's say for you, you have 2.5 hours per day that you can play this game. So 2.5 hours will give you 5 game loops at $25. You're one person. Now, because it's just you, I'm actually going to check this box. And we're also assuming here a rate of return of about 25%. Now, you might think that's high, and it definitely could be. But from what I've seen with like Illuvatars and just what I'm kind of guessing, at least when open beta comes out and there's a lot of hype behind it, I'm thinking for a little while, I think you could get about 25%. So in this scenario, you're putting $25 into that game per day. You're spending your 2.5 hours. You're going to get a return of $31.25, you know, approximately, of in-game value, whether that be alluvials, shard fragments, or any other resources. And that means for that day, your profit is $6.25. Now let's look at it from a leverage point of view. You only have that 2.5 hours to spend per day, but you have the capital of $100 per day, but you can't even put that into the game. You're only spending $25. So what you can do is you can sponsor some other people. You know, they used to call this scholarships, but that name leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. So you find a couple other people that you can fund their accounts and they can play this game, and you can take a certain percentage, or you can just pay them a flat rate. In this scenario here, we're going to up it to 4 total people playing. Now, by checking here, I can either say whether I'm one of those 4 people or not. Let's check here and say I am one of those 4 people. So I have 3 other people that are playing the game for me. And this is coming out to about $107. All right, now let's say these people that you're sponsoring are from a country where the cost of living is a lot lower. You know, from my experience with Axie Infinity and Fancy Birds, I know quite a few people from the Philippines that are, you know, willing to play Web3 games. And if you pay them 50% per game loop, So that's basically $1 an hour. For people in the Philippines, that's actually decent money. And if you are from the Philippines and you're watching this and I'm wrong, then leave a comment down below. I'm not saying this is great money, but for a side hustle in the Philippines, I think this would be good money. So for that day now, you're going to be putting about $100 into the game, and then you have about $7.50 that you're paying those people to play that game. Now at the 25% return rate, you're going to end up with about $125 of in-game assets, and your profit for the day is about $17.50. Now this scenario, compared to the last scenario, you are still playing 2.5 hours worth of Illuvium and doing the same thing with your time, but you added leverage in with using the extra money and the extra manpower to play the game. And obviously in this scenario, I'm just talking about if you add $100. If you have more than that, then you can really scale this up as high as you want. So if you're wondering how this will actually be done, at the end of this video, I'll put a card up for how to set up a lending system with your land, and in theory, it should work the same way in open beta for the overworld. I'm going to be all about using Illuvium to make money. Again, not everybody likes that idea, but if you do, this is definitely the channel for you, and I'm going to be making plenty more content just like this, especially once open beta comes out and we're actually on the blockchain and able to make some money. Definitely let me know if you plan on leveraging your money and other people to make a return in Illuvium or not. But that's it, and I will catch you in the next one.